Oh, what up? How are you? I am feeling amazing. Well, we got a lot to do today. And speaking about realistically the quarter coming up, you've heard me talk on this channel a lot about accumulation, manipulation, and distribution. The reason why this is typically like something I try to make sure you understand how important it is because if you don't really understand the difference between the cycles or why we need to even care, you're not going to have that much fun in January, February, March. You're not going to feel like it's that much fun. Happy New Year to you. I mean, it's a new year. It's 2026. And what's crazy about this, right? Really think back to a couple years ago. You probably didn't even expect to be where you are in your trading now. You know what I mean? Whether you're brand new and you actually discovered gold back levels, or you're brand new and you actually just discovered, you know, there's a few people I've met who don't really even have like a retail perspective because they went right into ICT because they met me. That's fucking cool. That's fucking cool, man. Like you literally don't even know how retail traders even think. That's hard. Now, me personally, I love accumulation. I say it all the time, but the real core difference between like a or an M or a D, right? And outside of the technical terms or whatever, right? Outside of that, like A and M, you might want to learn how to be a better scalper. D cycle, you might want to learn how to hold something. And the reason why I'm smiling is not just because I'm stoned, but there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to talk about. And obviously, I get slightly bored of the NASDAQ. I mean, we trade it every day, but I done seen so much NQ price action over these last like 2 years. I'm just kind of like, let's trade some other shit. I'm fucking bored. Now, this week on the last episode of Now, it's the Dow Jones. I call it Young Money, right? If you trade YM and you listen to Lil Wayne, you already know why that's fun. Now, my thing is, right? We've talked a lot on this channel about core things that make focus sense. Like we do have gold back levels, we have all these advanced models and concepts. I mean, we got Einstein, we got Algo 1, we got Algo 2, you got, there's so much stuff that we can refer to, right? Now, this is my thing. I wanted you to think about this very deeply, actually. I had a little thing for you. Um, Now I know that the original study, and I mean, there's no, he's not wrong about this, but yes, the algo, we learned about algo 1, we learned about algo 2, right? Okay. Now I want you to understand that yes, these do play out. There's a lot of evidence that learning how to play algo 1 and 2, yes, you could do quite well. And we see evidence of both of these running every week. But the thing I want to make you kind of think more about, are you sure those are the only two? Now, why would I say something like that? Now, if we're speaking about the idea of an algorithm or in this context, I want you to think about your lines, right? Like your gold back levels. I call them the lines, right? Um, an algorithm one or an algorithm two is technically how we were taught, like a scenario in which we can complete a dealing range, right? So if you're talking to me on a very basic level about um structurally how we go from a high to a low, you get what I'm saying? Or in reverse, low to a high. Sure, whatever you want to, right? Whatever. Bullish, bearish, whatever. But what I'm saying is, if you're telling me that the only route through a dealing range is these exact two, and there's plenty of dealing ranges, so we're not speaking about like a specific one, right? Um, in general, no, this is not the only one or two. The reason why I wanted you to start just creatively thinking about this, right, is like sure, um, you can find a lot of evidence of how we're going through one or let's say we're on a 243 right now, right? Um, I've talked on this channel before about getting you comfortable with the asset you're actually trading. If you're on like a NASDAQ versus like a YM, you're going to realize that the levels you're using every day or for a certain thing, it's going to be slightly different, right? Now, that's the thing. Let's play around with some big levels. Let's go up a time frame. All right. Now we're on the hour chart. Let's go to a 4 hour. Right. Okay. Take off. Cool. And like I said, you're easily going to be able to find algorithm one, algorithm two. They're in your face, right? So I do love trading these effectively. Like when we talk about algorithm one, like it really is just like a simple V, you know what I mean? Whether we're going bullish, bearish, and the base of it, right? Being like that. 9 times out of 10, I totally understand how people feel with learning these in order. So you might be trying to plan your trades only from that perspective of an algo one or only in that perspective of an algo two, which is not totally wrong. But the problem is, especially if you're a new trader and you kind of stumble across this, you might be looking way too hard for an algorithm in that context. So, really quick, just to get your attention about this, right? I took off all the time stuff just for you to see this, right? Because again, we can speak about what's directly on the screen. So, like, it's not hard if you're just telling me, hey, um, in this scenario, I feel like it's bullish because number one, we've spoken about how power of three liquidity is probably one of the, I mean, it's one of my favorite versions of liquidity. You know what I mean? And you see what they do when they actually go to attack it. Like it demolishes this version of liquidity. You get what I mean? Oh, wait, my bad. Gotta go back. But long story short is what I'm saying is look directly at this upswing, right? Okay. You tell me if this is algorithm one or two. And look, we just spoke about what these are supposed to help us with, right? Yes, we understand the market is running both of those algorithms. But if we're speaking about how to complete a dealing range in general from a high to a low or a low to a high, is this algorithm one, two, or even three? You tell me. Now remember, like I said, this is easy if we're just looking for keeping it simple, right? Ah, I got the lighter. Thought I lost it for a second. But like, long story short, looking at this, like I said, power three liquidity. You've already spent a lot of time in the low down here. Obviously, you have clean structure. You get what I'm saying? We are visually met with a very, very nice gap. And also, you see that we couldn't even break this with a body. Like, we literally only closed it with one body and the rest were wicks, right? So when you're really looking for um confirmation here, we can see that like however you define what model you're looking to use, whatever, if you just happen to look at your 2187, you'd likely find this to be bullish. But my point is, and you've already been thinking it before I said it, I gave you some time, right? No, there's not no algorithm two or one, my friend. So what do you define this as? It just goes from a low, but it does not take that same route. We understand that Algo 2 was rejection block, breaker, fair value gap, and then runs to your opposite order block. Now, yes, there's some other levels we need to get through or PD arrays we need to interact with. And it does end both algorithms at a liquidity void. But what I'm trying to say, if we're speaking about the general just up or down through a dealing range, we can't limit it to just algo 1 and 2. You can't think that the algorithm is actually just that format, which is why you're probably finding it hella hard um in general, right? Because the same way that we're speaking about it. Like I said, yes, we got algorithm ones, we got twos, okay? But I want you to just think like in general, is that the only way to get through a dealing range? No. So what I want you to do, okay, and remember, we're on the 4 hours. So let's go down. Okay. Now I want to talk to you about another thing. All right. Now, obviously the Dow is very extreme right now. So we'll get to the fan favorite, right? And we'll remove some of the stuff. We don't need it right now. Now, this is my thing, right? Okay. The reason why, like I always say to people, like, not just because NASDAQ is popular, like it really is like the easiest uh one to really learn how to trade. It's very efficient. It is very fun, obviously. Um, we just talk about it so much. I just start to get bored of it. But I mean, in terms of like throughout a day or a week, mm, I like gold. I like NASDAQ. I like to trade GJ a lot. I like to trade the Euro a lot. I like to trade GU a lot. So it really just depends on what I feel like looking at. But since we understand the script to everything is the same on all of them, but the dealing range use over a set period of time is definitely different. So meaning us looking at like a 2187 or on a NASDAQ, this is way big. You know what I mean? This is way too big to reference for um even like that 4 hour chart. You see how we get like a similar vibe. but it's going to take NASDAQ way longer than a Dow to fill this big of a dealing range. Okay. So when we're talking about like what dealing range like I should be paying attention to, or like what do I care about? Well, it depends on what you're looking to do. And we've said that before. So like me being on a 2187, like you're probably looking for a either longer term view, or you're looking for a bigger technical picture. Now, you might be already good with your 4 hour and your daily chart, right? So if you're coming up here, it's very helpful to know that we're playing around in this current 2187, right? Now, on your daily chart, same thing we talked about, right? Yes, this is beautiful. We see this. But question for you. If I downshift this again, now you tell me we're doing this again. What algorithm is this? That's my question to you. You can let me know in the comments. Is it algorithm 2, algorithm 1? Now, the funny part is you can easily hit me with, oh, well, Jay, well, you're not understanding. It's probably just a bigger algorithm 1 or 2. No, it's only both of them running. So you're just looking at a small section. Now, I like that argument. However, if we're speaking about what we said earlier, right? Let's say each dealing range is by itself. It's its own dealing range, right? So for this exact 2187 DR, and for me to say, um, let me see. Yeah, for this 2187 DR specifically, we completed this dealing range. But then answer the question. Which algo was used to complete the DR? Now, rejection block. I mean, it's at the EXT, but the structure is a rejection block here. You have a gap and you have a breakaway gap in the fair value gap. Do I dare call this algo 3? And like I said, um, I already have some other like algo 3 stuff that I mapped out last year. So I've already been thinking about this for quite a while. But the thing is, have you noticed a third pathway or possibly a fourth pathway? So if we have an algorithm 1 or an algorithm 2 defined, this is excellent. This is correct. Same thing with these. But this is what I'm saying. Just how would you like to categorize this with me? And we could do it together. And like I said, there's plenty of other information I have for a lot of my students right now. I mean, they're snapping with the all of our core content. And like I said, whenever I hop on YouTube, all the stuff that we speak about here is always going to be basic. Like I consider these things basic concepts. Like it's basic. Mentorship stuff, I will never speak about what we do in mentorship on YouTube. At least not like in complete detail. Put it that way. And like I said, you can still join Discord. We're on Discord. Mentorship is different than Discord, but we are again, we're all in the same place. Let's put it that way. Again, I wanted to pose that question to you, just in general. If we're just thinking about the completion of a dealing range, and if this is the fixed piece of price action that the smart money is using at that time, regardless of what I'm looking to do with it or not, look into some price action, right? But my thing is, I'm trying to get to a point where you're just thinking more critically about what we're doing here, you know? Hmm, man, it's crazy. I'll just be spawning drinks, right? Like every video, it's be spawning random drinks. Dude, I'm like so dehydrated right now. It's like not a fucking joke. Like so fucking dehydrated. Fucking, I just been going too hard, bro. Like I've been fingerboarding way too fucking hard. And it's like the thing is about this fingerboard, right? And I don't know if there's one near me. Matter of fact, so this is like a tech deck. Like this is a tech deck. Okay. I got a Ryan Sheckler board. Oh shit, you can't see it. There we go. I got a Ryan Sheckler board, but this is a real like miniature skateboard. You know what I mean? And the difference is this is like 5 plies real maple versus the tech deck being that bendy plastic. You know what I mean? Bendy plastic. You can fuck it up. You can twist it and turn it and you can throw it and do whatever the fuck. Real wooden skateboard. Look at that. Oh, look at that. Yeah, you ain't doing that. You ain't doing that. This is the best fucking shit ever. And it's funny because like I remember when Tech Deck came out, like I was born in 92. So Tech Deck came out in 90. What you think? I'm about to Google it. Tech Deck came out in what time? Tech Deck first released 1998. Yes, I had Tech Decks in 98, bruh. And this is the thing. I have always been skateboarding, never stopped. But I stopped fingerboarding. So, bro, y'all have no idea how I've been fucking feeling with fucking. I'm like tired from fingerboarding. Like right now, I'm almost injured from fingerboarding because I've been going so hard. Like this is the best shit since fucking sliced bread. And real skateboarding, miniature skateboarding. I play a lot of skateboarding games. Bro, we love skateboarding over here. Skateboarding is the best shit on the fucking planet. And the funny part is, me even thinking about all this, my real motivation to be like really fucking like, away from a job and like just to get better at my trading. I wanted to skate when I wanted to fucking skate. You know what I mean? I used to hate having to go to work and then like all my friends be like, yo, come skate. And I'd be like, oh, I gotta work. Like, fuck that. Fuck that. Now, this is why, again, it's cold outside right now. It's rainy outside. This is why we got fingerboards. Okay. And like, oh, had to go left-handed for this one. But long story short, getting better at trading, okay, I want you to get to a point where yes, like you're having fun, like you're not stressing yourself. I know that you're learning right now, and it feels like you probably need a lot of money, and you're feeling like you're um trying to just catch up to everybody in skill, or you really just haven't gotten that payout that you wanted yet. I get it. You're like, Jay, it's not a fucking joke. Like you over here fucking joking. Like, listen, I get it. I get it. Trading is serious business. But you also gotta like remember to enjoy yourself. I feel like for anything, and that's skateboarding included, um, you don't get better at it without really enjoying yourself. Because obviously that like it's gonna be a moment or two that's gonna throw you off or upset you or whatever, but we get through that. And what I need you to do, number one, is get to a point where you're just remembering that this shit is an algorithm. Okay. So like I know it seems like, oh man, like every week is just something different. Like they're throwing bricks at me. Let's just this and that. And look at the gap didn't even work. And oh my God, I don't know where we're going. And like listen, like just slow down. Okay. We gotta roll another blunt in a second. Yeah, I got some fingerboard videos about to come out, dog. You about to be surprised. I'm waiting on Amazon right now. I just ordered a bunch of obstacles, but they're taking. I mean, I should have known. Just like I ordered it like right after fucking Christmas. Amazon must suck around that time, and like, it's such a niche little thing too. So like, fingerboard obstacles are taking like 2, 3 weeks to fucking get delivered, and you're like, damn. They talking about like, I'm talking like day after Christmas. Shit wouldn't get here till today. You know what I mean? Like, come on now. But like the whole thing about this, right? And we're gonna call this the Venezuela model. I'm sure you heard of what happened. There's a lot of crazy news this week. Um, and this is what I was going to tell you, right? Gem for you as algorithmic price delivery type of trader, right? Um, People ask me all the time, like, yo, Jay, like, how do you feel about news? Like, you're probably like so on top of the news, things like that. This is the thing. I'm aware as to like headlines. I'll read a few things, or if somebody points some shit out to me, I'll look into it. Like, but I'm not sitting there stalking the fucking news. That has nothing to do with my trading. I don't give a fuck about what is actually said. So, for example, what I'm saying is until something pops off enough to where we then have to pay attention to it, that's one thing, which is why I'm speaking about the Venezuela model. However, if you're understanding that this shit is an algorithm, people are going to be like, Venezuela got us bullish. It was not this exactly that made this. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, this is not the actual catalyst. It's faked to be the catalyst. Okay. I've told you before in very simple context that I don't need you trying to um, think that this shit is random, not for literally a minute. Literally a minute on this shit. There's not a 1 minute candle out of place. So when we're looking at watch, we're on the hour chart. Now, your perspective of me is probably in the same place. I'm moving myself all around in this bitch, like with the little window top. So there we go. Now, this is the thing, right? We spoke about let's get rid of these. We spoke about structure. Okay. Now I got you thinking a little bit about time. We started to talk a little bit about the dealing range, and we're starting to think more about just in general, so that you can see this, right? On a very fucking basic level, I say this almost every video. You need to just get to a point where, look, stop trying to complicate the shit, man. All right. Everything you're doing is literally either I was gonna say like, now I mean, there's something else. I don't want to talk about turtles and rabbits right now, but Jay, what the fuck is a rabbit? We'll talk on that for another time. The main and like, do you ever notice how trading is very animal based? Like, you got turtles, um, bulls, bears. There's so much animal related. Anyway, you get what I'm trying to say. We talked about that before too. Anyway, so since we're speaking about how the turtle is pretty much like the top bias changer or the top bias confirmer or however you would like to define that, the algorithm knows it needs to reverse its fucking self by using a turtle. Now, it's not just any version of it, but we have a weak style turtle. So all that means, right? In this situation, this week just took out the highs from that week. That's all I'm saying. All right. We're keeping it simple. Okay. Now, that being said, my friend, I want you to just look at this in general. Now, we talked about this one up here. Why would you expect this? Let's zoom in. When you're seeing what is on the fucking screen, long story short, have we not been bullish for the I don't know how fucking long? What does that mean? That means you've been seeing nothing but literally the same direction, like pretty much throughout the year. Once we actually take out some lows, you get what I'm saying? Even if they come up here and do the same thing. Now, it'd be logical if you told me that you expected this one. That might have been okay or logical for us to speak about. But you need to understand something. You can't just come in randomly and think just about generic up or down. Okay. Once you start putting some pieces together, this catalyst of the news shit is actually fake. All you're going to come in and understand that when they start talking about this stuff, it's just going to act as a volatility injection. And it's not technically, I mean, it's a form of manual intervention, but like it's technically toward already being planned. The news on that day, if you remember. Now, I really didn't hear too much about it till like Sunday afternoon, Monday-ish or whatever. Like I heard about it on Saturday, but the news really came out on Saturday about that president, right? Um, Now remember, my yellow is the weekend. Okay. Now that's Sunday open, but I mean, like this is representing like of the weekend. Okay. So notice how again, right before we got this Venezuela model, we violently came down and took some lows. I mean, violently. And again, what am I showing you? I'm showing you different styles of Le Turtle. So the last one that we looked at was a weekly turtle, yeah? Dude, did you see my eyes just now? What the fuck? Now, watch this, right? So we're looking for day style turtle. Friday over Thursday. It's just that fucking simple. I'm not going to explain in detail what you're supposed to do with it. If you understand turtles, you understand what I'm talking about. But what I'm trying to tell you is that, again, like in the hierarchy of all this stuff, play around with the turtles more. Stop trying to give a fuck about all these different things. Okay. And again, I just wanted your attention slightly for a second so you can think about the completion of a dealing range from a high to a low. And also, this is your first day of Algo for 2026. Okay. This is your first week of the algorithm for 2026. Now, like I said, types of turtles. Okay. If you already understood, we talked about with the higher time frame. We've been godly awful bullish for months, right? So we only have one actual week of selling. Now, this was marked off for us in yellow on our bigger time frame, right? You notice how this wasn't even close to being a DLL? Jay, what's a DOL? My bad. I be getting to it to smoking weed sometimes. I'm smoking Miracle Alien cookies again because I've been smoking nothing but Mac and white glue cookies for about like 2 months now. It's the only two weeds I want to smoke. I'm not interested in other shit. I bought some stupid ass weed I really didn't like earlier this week, and oh, I got so pissed. And like I said, this is exactly why I'm smoking the same two strains because I'm not trying to fix what's broken, man. And the stuff I even like we said, um, first day Algo. The type of weed I even like to smoke is anything Girl Scout cookie, OG based, or anything that just is good for um just chilling, man. You know what I mean? We just chill, we work, we get shit done, and we play video games. So my thing is just understanding that the turtle soup is like probably not because I love it, but for you guys, it's the easiest thing for you to just keep your mind sharp on what you need to interact with and what you don't. And also, speaking about, again, the one that I wanted to highlight to you, if we talk about turtle soup is the one that changes the bias, this is what we're talking about. It's not just Venezuela that gave this out in advance, my friend. Okay. We came down, and like I said, we're bullish. So we're only going to be taking selective lows in the first place. You get what I'm trying to say? It's not going to be a whole fest of low taking. We're bullish. Since we're using that order flow, that's why you see certain things like this gap get disrespected and become an inverse. You start to see that we still have no fucking problem doing what? Taking out buy side liquidity. You get what I'm saying? Sell side liquidity was not being engaged. All you're going to see is, even on a basic level, that when smart money is in a hurry, okay, you're going to see them start to operate from a Sunday or a Monday and move it one-sided in terms of your weekly profiles. So, like, do you see how they were basically one-sided? We had 1.5 days of selling, really. Get what I mean? But it's on you to understand. You're probably one of those people who are, if you're learning, you know, you may have started in a certain marketplace where it was more sell side order flow. And that when you get to something that's more bullish, you probably feel more comfortable in with a certain direction of the marketplace as well. So you might be more comfortable with the sells, although we're buying up all week, or you might be dooming yourself to keep getting stopped out because you probably keep looking for, like, especially on a day like this, you might still keep looking for sells when we're just literally bullish. I know this right here for a fact. Fucked up a lot of accounts. And also, this goes into what we talked earlier about quarter expectations. We talked a little bit about the difference between A, M, and D. So, not going to go into the detail again, saving that for mentorship. You want to learn more about this stuff super in detail. You want to be with me every day, then you come to mentorship. Okay. YouTube free mentorship is not for advanced stuff that we need to do in that space. Okay. Now, this is my thing. I am going to give this to you because when we talk about A or M, right? Um, A is an asshole. So you might want to be scalping that or avoid it if you don't know how to trade it for right now. Until I teach you how to do that correctly, you might want to be kind of sure-handed on that. M is for what? Yes, it's for manipulation, but what am I going to say? Multiple objectives. I'm not going to get into it. Go watch some of my old videos on AMD stuff. You want to learn more about that. I have plenty of stuff on that. But again, like I said, the Venezuela model. So, like I said, you just on your part, if you understand liquidity even on a intermediate level, like do you know how to separate? Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. I'm not going to explain this to you right now. I mean, we talked about it on another video, but do you understand the difference between long term, mid term, short term liquidity? I hope you do, because outside of that, right? And yes, like I said, we have gold back levels, and let's play around with these. But the problem is, if you can't interact with what is what, then these lines are not going to help you. You're still going to be feeling like, dude, this thing is so confusing. I don't know. And look, you're going to be somebody in this area. Imagine you take buys because you're seeing all of this and you don't understand how to use any of this stuff. You don't understand liquidities, how to separate it. You're not understanding cycle or changes in environment and what to do about that. You're thinking, oh shit, I found this incredible book and there's only two algos and I'm about to just do this. Just that, you got a long day of reckoning for that. Woo! You got a lot to learn if that's still your vibe right now. And like I said, I know the answer to my own question. Is it just an algorithm one or two? Is there a third? Yeah, I have a third algorithm. I might even have a fourth. And the crazy part, that's still not the only way to trade. Not even about model this, model that. No, it depends on how simple you want to keep it. I've been talking. I've been smoking the same blunt for a minute. This weed lasts long as shit. It burns so slow. It's crazy. Whoa. Yeah, this is my thing, right? Like I said, you might be somebody, right? And we're gonna stick on our 243 for this week. Let's check that out. Now, right? Oh man. And it's just so unfortunate because I've seen, listen, like it's the internet. I don't expect you to listen to shit I say. I don't. Really don't. Um, and that's why I appreciate the people I work with because like they understand like how I have to teach this stuff, right? The thing about trading or learning to trade, it's not like other things in our life. You have to understand that it's a creative process. You're an artist and you need to be open-minded. You need to free associate. You need to let your ideas play out. And also you need to be understanding basic algorithm rules. You can then start to remix and play around and do some fun stuff after that. Do the basic stuff first. Okay. And the reason why we say that is because I don't want you to get to a point where, like we said, if you're only thinking that the funny lines is going to be your um and funny as in like this shit is hilarious how accurate it is, right? So like, yes, we have plenty of context and things like that. But if you're again not understanding environment, you're going to come in here and have no idea if you need to scalp or hold. You're going to be having trouble because even zipping back to this Monday, right? Like I said, um, this is Sunday. This is Monday. So sure, this does work excellently, and you can get a nice move from this. But I do know a lot of you are New York traders only. So a lot of my Asia and my London traders, shout out y'all. I mean, I'm there every night. But my thing is, since you only want to come to New York, you're gonna be somebody who takes too long to try to verify your ideas. You're going to go way too over leveraged to sell this. Then you're going to get scared because you're coming and seeing this right here, and it's not going as low as you thought. And the problem is, you probably even had just one liquidity marked or some shit like this. And now you're probably freaking out because that same shit that you thought was working 2, 3 months ago, that same shit that you tried at fucking 9:30 all these other days, and that shit just went. And now, not only do you take a loss or you get stopped out, you're trying this shit 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 and 7 times. And by the time you even accept this bullish, not only is your account fucked up, but you're mentally kind of over it. You get what I'm saying? So I listen, listen, and look, I haven't even measured it yet. So you mean to tell me you're about to stay there for 200 plus or 300 tick retracement? No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you the fuck not. I don't want to hear that shit. You ain't staying for that shit. Unless you don't care about that account, my guy. You not holding that shit. You're going to cut, open, cut, open, and that account is going to be right back where you started last year. And guess what? It's not that you don't know where it's going either. But the problem is, you're thinking it's a difference when you're seeing something on structure versus your goal back levels, and you don't even know which one to trust. And now you're just sitting there having overall trust issues with the chart because you're not sure what's what in the hierarchy. Oh my lord! When Jay keeps telling you it's market structure, nice. Jay, you don't have to be such an asshole about it. Oh, oh, you must be smoking too much weed, man. But like I said, we get it. If you're not nailing it in this environment, we talk about A's and M's, right? These cycles you guys are fine with. But what I'm saying is, if you don't know how to nail it in that A or that M, and especially we're gonna see if we have a X cycle for quarter one, or if we have an A cycle for quarter one. So that's a good thing to keep track of. Okay. Another thing, and it's only like 10 o'clock or whatnot. And like I said, I just want you guys to like be better with liquidity. From a basic standpoint, intermediate level liquidity stuff like just operating, understanding internal versus external, understanding long term, short term, midterm, understanding how to operate those correctly, where to find them, what time to find them, how to categorize them visually, and what to do with all of them because it's a lot of work to do a little bit. But like I said, bro, you'll just get to a point where I don't know. I never thought trading was super hard, but it's just super hard when you don't have the right information. That's it. Oh my God. I just thought about this. Oh, please tell me you guys saw Stranger Things. Stranger Things was so fucking bad, dog. Like, like I actually, not to say it like that, I enjoyed season five up to like episode four. Five, six, seven, and eight. No. I'll say actually, no. Episode six, seven, and eight had me fucked up. Fucked up. Fucked up. Episode eight is terrible. Episode eight is one of the worst. That shit is so much worse than Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones, I didn't think was actually that bad. Um, when they're talking about Game of Thrones ending versus the Stranger Things ending being, a triple A show, right, and the ending is just that bad. Game of Thrones went beyond the writing. That's why they tried to make up some ending shit. Try to just make Cersei's death. To be honest, it really sucked. That should have been like a pivotal, like crazy visual, like the most insane death in the fucking show should have been Cersei, right? But that's the thing with Vecna and Stranger Things. It's like, dude, like you're telling me, and I understand they tried to play it off with like Joyce, she was the one that deserved to kill him and whatnot. But it's like, dude, there are so many plot holes in that Stranger Things. It was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. That shit was so bad. And I'm sure you heard about Conformity Gate. Oh my God. Listen. That shit was so fucking annoying, bro. And I was sitting here actually like working on my book and whatnot, like watching the episode, and I was so excited for that last episode, bro. I was smoking a Kimbo. Like I was sitting here like, dog. Oh, I was so angry at that shit. When Vecna was dead and there was an hour left in the episode, you knew that was a problem. You knew that was a problem. Oh my God. Now listen, like it's some of the stuff here that when we talk about just um other things that's going to annoy you this quarter. Sorry not to say it like that. But like I said, we're on that 243 range, right? So imagine this. And what are you going to do again? Exactly what the fuck I just said. You're going to get to a point where you're just freaking out because you're using the lines only. And every single time that we're stepping in something, right? The issue is you're going to come in this area and you're going to be like, oh, wow, look at this. I understand exactly what we need to do. So I'm just going to buy this. Oh, we're going up again. Okay, cool. It must be algorithm one or whatever the case is. However you think about it, everybody's going to see these wicks right here. You're going to look at it like this. You probably saw this gap get tapped in. And guess what? I'm going to turn this off. And again, you're looking at your dealing range and you probably marked it like this, right? Probably tried to mark it like that. And then the problem is, this is why I brought up Venezuela, because you're thinking that, oh, that's just bullish news in general. And again, by the time this is your Thursday, okay? So it's your Wednesday and your Thursday. So you're thinking that it's just about to be endless bullshit. You let this stop you out from all this, you got fucked over. I hear you. Now, you probably oh no. You probably let this gap fake you out and you thought it was going higher and 930 destroyed your fucking ass. And the problem is, even when you're trading way too fast and you're a little anxious, which is okay when you're new, I want you to slow down. Now, advice part here. I want you to slow down, okay? Even if you're using your levels and things like that, just chill the fuck out. You might have noticed that this was again what we spoke about earlier. My favorite version of liquidities, or one of my favorite versions, I'll say. It's my second favorite, if I'm honest. Second favorite. You will not know my true favorite until you come to mentorship. You will not know. Power of three liquidities is my second favorite. I'm funny. Anyway, look at this shit here, right? So now when you really go back and look at it, you're like, damn, man, this shit really tapped into a gap, took a high. Damn, Jay talks about that turtle shit all the time. Fuck. And then you're gonna be like, is that the rabbit? Is it the rabbit he talked about? No, no, no. I don't know. In time, until you come to mentorship, maybe you might learn what the rabbit is. But for now, just stick with the turtle. And it's probably better anyway. And like I said, you're going to start coming in here doing what? Oh, okay. And watch when we measure this again. You're not staying for 500 tick retracements. You're not. You ain't doing that. You ain't doing that. You're not holding that. Even if you try to sell it down again, you're not holding that. You're not holding that. You're going to try and scalp it. It might work. You're going to try it again, and you're going to lose that same money. There's no point in that. And like I said, I do want you to get to a point where you're understanding how simple the marketplace really is, though. And you probably overthink it. And you are probably sitting there losing your mind over why it didn't take that low. Jay, you probably know why I took the low at the yellow line and why I didn't take the low at the red line. Correct. I do know why. Am I going to tell you? Nope. So I feel like Rapunzel had to let my hair down. And look, oh my God, crazy. Oh, I'm tired. It's time to smoke a blunt and get my girl to wash my hair. Well, I just wanted to tap in with you for a little bit. My hair is nice. I appreciate it. Hmm. Well, any final thoughts, Jay? Yes. I want you to trade slower. I want you to get to a point where you're thinking not just about how much you're losing or how much is risking, right? Think about how much you want to make. Okay. Start to measure the distance between your uh could be wherever you'd like to entry or whatever entry drill or model you like. Just start to measure your targets more and have a relative A or B to how much you would like to make. Okay. And when it comes to compounding, that's the name of the fucking game. So we're wasting our fucking energy and time thinking that like Asia is the same, or thinking that London's the same, or thinking that New York's the same. They're all different fucking function. Okay. So if that's the case, you need to also understand exactly what to be doing or not at a certain time of the day. Every single moment has a day giving a different clue. You know what I mean? So if you're used to a certain model or strategy or mm, almost gave out a gem just now. But again, um, the question I had in the comments is like, what are some of your favorite PD arrays and why? And I know the stable answer is probably going to be like the classic fair value gap, or um, I know the inverse fair value gap is super hot on YouTube right now. But um, yeah, if you see this video, just let me know what your favorite array is, and also have more fucking fun in your trading. Like, stop letting this shit be fucking boring, yo. All right. Play a video game, throw your favorite music on, watch movie in your boxers. Like, don't like, come on, bro. Like, have fun with this shit. All right. Uh, see ya.